10 seconds, 5 seconds. Start. Members of Parliament, I welcome you to your labours in a new session of Parliament. The year we have left behind has been one of considerable stress and strain both internally and externally. My government have faced the problems that arose by their strenuous endeavours and by firm adherence to the principles of their basic policy and with confidence in the future. Though many and stubborn problems still await solution or are in the process of being solved, the situation both at home and abroad shows signs of improvement and justifies hope and cautious optimism. The problems of aggression on and incursions into the sovereign territory of the Union have yet to be resolved, but my government is well alert to them and to all their implications. Defensive arrangements, including the opening up of areas by better communications and development, receive their continuous and careful attention. While China has withdrawn from the military post it had established at Longju and not attempted any further violations of Union territory, her intransigence continues. It is the constant endeavour of my government to maintain our defensive strength in the face of this continuing hostility from across our frontier. My government will, however, seek to adhere firmly to the principles which this nation regards as basic in our relations with nations. They cannot accept the results of unilateral actions or decisions taken by China. This peaceful but firm policy and progressive preparedness for defense has the support of our people and has also profoundly influenced world opinion. We firmly hold that the frontiers between India and China have been long well established by treaties, custom and usage. In spite of present unwillingness or even intransigence, my government hope that sooner rather than later China will persuade herself to come to a satisfactory agreement with our country in regard to our common frontiers. Friendly relations with our great neighbor, which my government have always sought to promote, can then become a reality which will endure and contribute to our common good and to stability in Asia and the world. In pursuance of the agreement announced in the joint communique issued in April last at the end of the meeting in Delhi between the Prime Minister of China and my Prime Minister, designated officials from their respective governments have been engaged in talks in New Delhi, Peking and Rangoon. These talks have now concluded. The report submitted to my government by their officials will be laid before Parliament. My government have welcomed the emergence of many independent countries in the continent of Africa to full statehood and their admission as full members in the United Nations. This awakening of Africa and the emergence of many sovereign republics is a matter of gratification to us. We welcome especially their declarations to remain unaligned and not to become involved in the Cold War conflict. This constitutes a welcome vindication on merits of the policy consistently followed by my government in regard to international relations. The situation in Congo continues to cause my government deep concern, involving as it does the freedom and integrity of this recently liberated country, the progress and development of the African continent itself, as well as both the prestige and potency of the United Nations as an instrument for settling international problems and the protection of the weak against aggressive countries. The pressure of Belgian arms, military and semi-military personnel, and their aid to some of the rival groups in the Congo in defiance of reiterated decisions of the United Nations are the main disturbing factors in the Congo situation. My government will continue to follow a policy based upon their dedication to the purposes of the United Nations and their desire to see the Congolese people in the full enjoyment of their newly won freedom. To this end, my government have consistently urged the withdrawal of the Belgians, the release of political personalities, and more particularly those who have parliamentary immunities, the neutralization of factional forces and armed groups, and the summoning of parliament and the restoration of constitutional authority. Nearer our own country, in Laos also, a situation has developed that causes grave concern. My government continue to use their best endeavors for the reactivation of the International Commission with the consent and authority of all concerned to prevent further deterioration of the situation. Spread of conflict there might have serious repercussions in Asia and the world, and it is the policy of my government to endeavor to avert it. So friends, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and thank you.